I just seen the Foundation update for No Man's Sky and I didn't have time to exactly record it in this video, but I will be covering it shortly, so stay tuned to this channel for more details. Other than that, enjoy the video! What is going on, you wonderful thought-having people you? As always, I'm Jake from Give It Thought, and welcome back for another Friday News Roundup. This is where I take the time to cover some of the stories I didn't have time to get to during the week, and without further ado, let's jump right into the first story. So, in the latest No Man's Sky news, it looks like a blog post was dug up by a Redditor, but the whole blog post does not reveal anything substantial, unfortunately. It sounds like it's written by a public relations robot that should have replaced Sean Murray a long time ago. The post on Zendesk is taken down now, but as you can see, a Redditor by the name of Sidarmix copied it and pasted it to Reddit. The whole thing isn't really noteworthy, so I'll hit you with the highlights. One of the most enraging pieces is this. We know lots of you have been asking about what kind of updates are in the works, what they may involve, and how they can benefit you. The places you will likely get information on this the fastest way is our social media sites, so please do make sure you're following for all the latest updates there. Considering there have not been any posts on there other than when it was apparently hacked, there's another lie for the scoreboard. Continuing on, we know that you are very keen to hear from us on this, and while we would love to share specific timelines with you on what kind of updates will be released to you right now, we can only say that as soon as we are ready to share any news, you will be the first to know. So clearly Hello Games is not ready to share any news with us. The longer this whole No Man's Sky thing goes on, the worse it gets. And guess what? That's not even the end of the No Man's Sky news today. A developer who had been with Hello Games who worked on No Man's Sky just left the company to work on another controversial space sim. Yep, Gareth Bourne dropped Hello Games to go work on Star Citizen. As you can see by his LinkedIn page, he now works at Foundry 42, which is developing the campaign for Star Citizen called Squadron 42. So if this doesn't tell people that Hello Games has some inside problems going on, I don't know what will. But I could be getting ahead of myself here. Developers and coders leave projects all the time after they are finished and head over to new companies. The problem is, No Man's Sky is certainly not finished. We're still waiting on those updates, guys. Still waiting. Another funny thing about this is that Gareth Bourne also used to work for Lionhead, which was run by the equally infamous Peter Molyneux. Looks like Star Citizen has become infected with whatever got him and Sean Murray. That's just a joke, but there is a pattern there. But speaking of Star Citizen, which may be the most requested topic I get here on YouTube, I finally get to talk about it. A schedule was posted by the developers for Alpha 2.6 on the official website that details the Star Marine and Arena Commander modules, tech and systems, and general content. And below that, we see that the front-end refactor and mega map started around mid-October, which isn't really news, but it is nice to see an actual schedule from them. There are about 5 other sub-schedules that I urge you to go look at if you're interested in this game or backed it on Kickstarter. I'll leave a link down in the description for you. The problem is, going back to that main schedule, you can see that Alpha 2.6 will be complete on or around the 8th of December this year, which is great, but still no sign of a release date. In addition to all this, we see no plans for the aforementioned Squadron 42 that the No Man's Sky developer left to work on. I would imagine that would be hard to schedule around, considering it has celebrities signed on to work on it, but it would be nice to see a window for completion. As I said though, it is nice to see some progress being made on this amazing looking game. I only wish we had an end date to look forward to. In one of the weirder gaming stories I've ever seen, are these. Do you know what these are? They're called Underscares, and they're from the makers of Outlast as a viral marketing ploy for the upcoming sequel to that game. We've known about these for a little while now, but someone noticed that the Kickstarter page may have given away the game's, as of now, unannounced release date. If you look on the Kickstarter page, which I urge you to do because it is just ridiculous, the delivery date for the Steam key for Outlast 2 is in March, whereas if you don't pledge enough money to receive the Steam key, you get your adult diaper in December of this year. This is obviously clear speculation, but Red Barrels, the developers behind Outlast, have said that they want to release it by Q1 of 2017, which lines up perfectly with this supposed release date. So nothing's set in stone, but we do know it will be out by then, otherwise you'd just be stuck with a meaningless Steam key. Moving on, we got some more info on the upcoming Mass Effect Andromeda. First, and more recently, BioWare developers have told Game Informer that not all the species from the Milky Way galaxy will have made it over to Andromeda. From the trailers, it looks like all the big players are there, with your Krogans and Asari showing up, but we could be missing some of the smaller, less important species. I just wonder if we'll see stuff like the Vorcha or even the Elcor. I'm betting that some of the bigger ones might get axed as well. I just hope the Geth are there in some large fashion. I really like them. Creative director Mark Walters specifically said, "We've designed the IP in such a way that they can all show up, but for hopefully obvious reasons, they're not all going to show up in the first game." In addition to all that, we also got some news that highlighted the side missions in the game. Most of them will be accomplished with this game's version of the Mako, which is called the Nomad, but it is said that there will be less linear planets and hub cities, which require you to explore more. We already know about the loyalty missions, so I won't go into that, but the biggest thing, for me anyway, was the mention of super bosses that are large enough to be spotted from a distance. I'm interested to see how this plays out and how similar it will be to Dragon Age Inquisition's dragons, and I guess you could say giants. It seems to me that they are refining a lot of stuff from Inquisition into Mass Effect Andromeda, and I hope it works out well. In other news, Gearbox is set to announce something on December 1st, presumably at the Game Awards. All this comes from a tweet from Randy Pitchford, Gearbox's big boss, which said, "On December 1st, we are announcing something you might really enjoy." There's no word on what this might be, but the tweet he replied to mentioned Duke Nukem, so that may be a clue. Or it could be the highly anticipated Borderlands 3, which could pull Gearbox back up from the hole that Battleborn put them in. I doubt anyone is really looking for them to make another Duke Nukem game after the complete failure that was the last one, but they still have the license, so anything's possible. Or it may be an Aliens Colonial Marine sequel, because I'm sure Sega would be overly excited to work with them again after that lawsuit, but be sure to tell me what you think is coming down below. And finally, the last story today is one that just has me so excited. Rumor has it that a mainline Pokemon game will hit the Nintendo Switch sometime next year. It is reported to be called Pokemon Stars and will be a follow-up to the recently released Sun and Moon. It will feature better graphics and higher resolution assets, even though it will take place in the same area and use the same map as Sun and Moon, and there just might be additional Pokemon to catch in this one. I've been having a great time with Sun and Moon so far, but you have to admit the new Pokemon are a bit limited in numbers. It would be great to see some more. And maybe give Togedemaru a steel move other than Gyro Ball, please? Please? But this would be a great system seller for the Switch, and if you think about it, it's not really surprising to see something like this come to the console. I think Nintendo are really worried about the sales for their new system, but be sure to tell me what you think about all this down below. But I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you enjoyed this video, you know what you have to do. Hit that like button for me, and if you're new here, why not subscribe? I put out a new video every single day, and if you want to be caught up on all the latest gaming news, the best way to do that is to be under a subscription. And while you're here, why not check out last Friday's video where I went over all the news from that week. I talked about how No Man's Sky is changing the gaming landscape, so if you clicked on this video to see more No Man's Sky news, you'll definitely be interested in that one. But I think that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, give thought to everything.